Good morning, everyone. The caretaker is now going to make the family's cinnamon nut bread. I don't even have a recipe, but it's something I used to make for my dad when I used to be able to get this hot roll mix. I had looked all over it for one day because my brother Chris, you like it, so I finally found it. So I went ahead and I made it and I sent it to you, Chris. And so now I'm going to show you how I make it. It's not really very hard. If you like cinnamon, sugar with nuts rolled into bread, this is it. Okay, not the muffins. So you get a box of hot roll mix. You need an egg. You need some butter to put in it. You need sugar, and you need flour. And you need crushed up. You can use walnuts or pecans. And that's what we're going to start with, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do here. So let's see. I'm going to combine the hot roll mix because the hot roll mix comes with yeast. So I know people have bread. They always have bread making machines. We don't really have that because, again, I don't make food. So, but it comes with a thing of yeast. So here's the flour that you put in. It's not hard to make. It's kind of messy. It can be a little messy. Let me adjust the camera here. It can be a little messy when you make it because of the flour. So you put this in. Get me a little fork here. So, okay. Mix that up. Then you put the yeast in. So basically you follow the instructions. Put roll mix and yeast in a bowl and mix well. Okay. So I'm going to cut the yeast and put that in too. So I'll add the yeast right here. Okay, a little thing of yeast that comes, and you know the thing with bread is the yeast and everything work together because you got to get it to rise. I remember one time making it for our father, and it never rose the second time, and I thought, well, it'll be okay. And my dad's like, oh, I'll eat it. It was like a rock. He couldn't break his teeth. So, but this is a family favorite, really, for my dad, and of course my brother who lives in Houston. He loves it, so I try to make it. I made it one time in Aruba, and oh my God, it seeped over a little bit, all the junk inside, the cinnamon sugar, and the fire alarm went off in the room. So, all right, so I'm mixing the yeast with the flour, and then it tells you to just add hot water, butter, and an egg. So you've got to add a certain amount of water. Okay, we're going to add 1 cup of hot water. Okay, we're going to add the softened butter. Okay, and we're going to add the egg. There we go. And you'll see it's going to turn out like dough by the time I finally finish with it. I'll mix it like this for now. So it's working. Last time I made it, when I sent it to my brother, I didn't really soften the butter. So it does tell you should do that. So it's basically going to turn into dough here. Okay. The part I don't like is once you get your dough done, you're going to put just some flour down on your cutting board or whatever you're going to do, and you're going to knead the dough out for about 5 minutes is what the directions say. So I'm taking it out. I got to put some flour on my hands. So anyway, I'm going to be kneading it for 5 minutes. Okay, now that I've kneaded the dough out, as you can see, I've got a ball of dough right here. I'm going to just use the same bowl. It doesn't matter. It says cover dough with a bowl. Let it rest. I'm going to let it rest, not rise. We're just going to let it rest for about 5 minutes. So I put a little butter just all around it using one of these. Just like this. I'm going to take some of this and put some flour in it, just like this, and kind of, you know, do this, kind of get it around. I mean, those that bake know how this works. Well, I hope it turns out, you know. And, you know, when you're giving it to family, they're always very nice, especially if you give it to them. I don't know. They say it turns out. So now I've got the pan all done. It's prepared and kind of ready to go. So now my pan's ready. to go with the bread when I finally roll it up, because it's going to be a matter of rolling it out, putting in the cinnamon, sugar, and the nuts, and then rolling it up, putting it in there, letting it rise, and then baking it, and you're pretty much done. Okay, so the next step is, as I said, that what you want to make for the inside. So I melted a bunch of butter. You can see it right there. I don't know how much. Let's say 4 tablespoons. I don't know. Wing it. Wing it. I mean, who doesn't like cinnamon sugar? Then I'm going to add sugar. Now, the thing is sugar melts. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. And I'm going to add a bunch of cinnamon to it to give it a real cinnamon flavor. I really want to have a good amount of stuff to put in it. So I just throw a lot of cinnamon in it. Again, I just wing it. Make as much as you want. If you want it real cinnamony, you know. So then you make your insides. There it is. So that's kind of what the insides will look like. You know, the filling, I guess you could call it. I'm calling it the insides. I mean, that's the filling. You can add walnuts, pecans, whatever your flavor is of nut. And again, I don't have a recipe. I just pour it in there. You kind of want to crunch it up some, you know. You want to be sure that you got enough going on there. I've got my filling now. Okay. So I've got about that much filling, and maybe I have too much. I don't know, but we're going to wing it and try it. So now let me go to the next step. Stand by. And I'm going to roll it out. Woo! Bring it back a little. And what I want to do when I roll it out is I want to kind of roll it so that it fits the pan as well. So I want to be sure it'll fit in the pan when I roll it out. So I roll it out like this. And now what I'm going to do is just put all this in there, you know, and just spread it out. Kind of keep it in the center. There you go. So now I just kind of put all that in there with the nuts, spread it out, be sure it's fantastic. This is the easy, now it's all downhill. Now it's a matter of waiting, you know, on what you're going to do, kind of put it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll it. I usually take my pan and try to figure out about how wide I want it, but you pinch the sides closed. So I'm just rolling it. So now I've got my little, looks like a hot dog. Okay, and then I'm going to pinch my sides together and kind of push it in. Pinch this side together and push it in. And then it should fit right in my pan. So I'm going to pick it up the best I can and put it in the pan like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this out in a hot spot. I've been putting it in the garage because it's kind of hot. And I'm going to put this like this. And I'm going to go leave it in the garage for about 30 minutes or until it rises. So that's kind of where I am. Then I'm going to pop it in the oven. I think I got to look at the box. And do it about 20 minutes. And then I let it cool on a cooling rack for about 10. And then it comes right out of the box. And right out of the pan, the tin pan. And I just kind of let it sit there for a little while. You know, the thing is you always hope that when you take it out and you sit it down, it doesn't just cave down. But it should be good. But that's kind of how you make it. You get the box, you get the egg, you get the butter. You soften the butter, put it in with the egg and the yeast that comes with the box and the flour. You mix it all up. You knead it for about 5 minutes. You let it rest. You knead it for about 5 minutes, and then you put it in a bowl. And you let it rest with a cover on it for about 5 minutes. And during that time, go to your stove, get your pan, get your butter, take a bunch of sugar, and melt your butter, bring it over, and then put the sugar in, and then just add the cinnamon, and it'll be a cinnamon sugar type mix. And remember, sugar melts. So it depends on how dry you want it, but you kind of want it dry because when it bakes, again, the cinnamon cooks. And then add whatever, walnuts, pecans. I mean, you probably could add anything. And then you roll it up, you know, fold it out, you know, with the thing. And then you put your filling in, roll it back up, put it in the thing, let it rise for about 30 minutes. You'll go out there and you'll see where it gets bigger. And then you pop it in the oven, you bake it, boom, wait 10 minutes and you're ready to go. So that's kind of all the steps in one summary. Okay? Anyway, Chris, I hope you can make it now. You just got to get the hot roll mix. And Susan, I hope you and Mark like it. I hope it turns out. And don't hurt my feelings if you say it didn't taste good or it wasn't cooked enough, whatever the issue is. Because since I have 4 boxes of hot roll mix, I thought, well, I better start making it. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I'm back to caretaking duties. Bye. I'll be honest with you. The final thing I do is I end up mopping up the floor. Because between the sugar, the flour, rolling it out, it's just messy. So, mop your floor. Never ending. I'm mopping the floor. I told you got to mop the floor. Get everything up so it looks like it's fresh. Well, look, it rose just enough. You don't want it, overflowing. But it looks like it rose pretty good. So now I'm going to pop it in the oven at 350. It says 18 minutes. I do about 20. Okay? We'll see how she goes. I'll show you when it's all done. Well, check it out, everyone. That's the final product. It looks like it puffed up a little. This is where I kind of folded it, but so I'm letting it cool, and then I'm going to put it in tin foil, and it's going to go to my sister and her husband. All right, have a great day.